And I want to say to you, my brothers and sisters from Asian American ministries, it's too light a thing for you simply to concentrate on maintaining the status quo in immigrant communities. But the Lord has raised you up so that you may make the gospel known to the ends of the earth. But one way in which you need to make the gospel known to the ends of the earth is by drawing on the riches of what God has done to your people and in your own pilgrimages, your own family lines, your own experiences and ethnic group experiences of migration and displacement. Because that too is a gift that is given to the whole kingdom of Jesus Christ, and the rest of us desperately need to know and to thrive upon that gift. There's a verse over in Isaiah 60 that I love, although you can't really preach this one unless you're able to do R-rated sermons. But Isaiah 60, verse 16, it says, "You shall suck the milk of nations, and you shall suck the breast of kings." We don't hear that one preached a lot. That notion of sucking the breasts of kings, in the Christian tradition, some have picked up on that and talk about the political leader as a nurturing father, as a nurturer. This is the image of nurture. Same kind of thing we find in Psalm 72. "Give the king thy justice, O Lord, and may he be like, in defending the cause of the poor of the people, may the king, may the political leader be like rain falling upon the newly mown grass." How we long for leaders of our nations who will be like rain that falls on the newly mown grass, that nurturing image. But the other half of this is relevant to us today. We're going to suck the milk of nations. We're going to be nurtured by that which we as peoples bring into the kingdom of God, into the kingdom of Jesus Christ. And this is all made possible because, as you've heard over and over again, Pentecost is the reversal of Babel. That there is a kind of multiculturalism, a multinationalism that seems to rule the world this day. And it's a multiculturalism that is often a multiculturalism that divides people, that makes it difficult for them to understand each other, that creates barriers, even barriers within the Asian American community. But there's also the multiculturalism, not of Babel, but the multiculturalism of Pentecost. And it's the multiculturalism that had a real breakthrough on that day when, in response to what God did at Pentecost, people from many different tribes and nations turned to each other on that day of Pentecost and said, "Did we not hear, each of us in our own language, about the mighty deeds of God?" And we're a people here who can say, "Did we not hear, each of us in our own language, about the mighty deeds of God?" And yet God asks us to be nurtured by what we have heard as peoples rooted in traditions. I was so appreciative of the last part of the whole thing, but the last part of Jonathan Tran's address this morning, where he says it's not Korean or Chinese or Japanese, but it's Korean and Chinese, Korean and Japanese, Korean and Vietnamese, Korean and Cambodian. And that word "and" there is very important, that we bring gifts from who we are, and we may not lose the memories. We have to be communities of memory, drawing on the wisdom even of the suffering that has happened to our peoples in the past, and at the same time bring the gifts of faith that have been forged out of that suffering, out of those experiences of change and migration and displacement, and bring them as gifts into the kingdom of God, where the glory and the honor of the nations will be received in the end time. And so my charge to you today is, be the church. Be kingdom people. Don't deny where you've come from. Don't forget the memories that have shaped and nurtured you. But at the same time, suck the milk of all nations, so that you may bring God's will to the ends of the earth. It is too light a thing for us to do business as usual. And that leads me to say one final thing. It's too light a thing for Fuller Seminary to do business as usual. You have come and you've challenged us, and I'm gonna memorize all this stuff. But I want you to say, we will learn from this, and we will act on these things. It is too light a thing for Fuller Seminary to talk about being the largest seminary in the world, serving multicultural, without really digging into what it takes for us to bring the message of the gospel of Jesus Christ to the ends of the earth. You need to help us. We will learn from you. And together, we will anticipate that great day when we gather around the throne of God and once again sing that great hymn of Revelation 5, that he was slain, and by his blood he ransomed men and women for God from every tribe and tongue and nation of the earth, and has made us into a people. Made us unto a people with memories of our own that we bring into that peoplehood, so that we may reign with him in the eternal kingdom. God bless you all, and thank you so much for your presence here.